this is a season 1, episode 2. And today we have a good friend of mine who I've met on Instagram, and I've known him for over a year and a half, if I'm correct. His name is Raj. He goes by the name Let's Code and Connect. Over to you, Raj. Tell us something about yourself. How you got into brewing. What's the link between your the whole idea of you coming up with the name of code and coffee. I know you're a senior software engineer, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, that's right. Firstly, yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. When you invited me, I was a bit lost for words, so I appreciate you inviting me and taking the time. So yeah, my day job is a senior software engineer. Just have a quite a big passion for coffee
Right.
and using it as a way of not getting too bogged down with work, but using it as a way of taking a break from work. So
Nice.
you have that little bit of onus on yourself to be responsible for taking a break, and yeah, just disconnecting from work every now and again, just so you can have a mental break and just sort of physically get up and stuff like that. So yeah, I started my world of coffee sort of started with me using a French press.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I thought like that was pretty cool back then. And then I bought an AeroPress, and I used to travel into the office with my AeroPress and coffee grinder, and just have fresh, really good beans. And then, so just before COVID and that sort of era, I started to explore coffee a little bit more, and sort of dive into sort of filter and pour over methods.
Right.
I'm in love with that from there. I think that's probably my favorite coffee as well, like a really nice filter coffee.
Right. So that's how the whole journey. What was your co-workers' reaction when you would get your own the AeroPress and the water in the canister or whatever? What were their reaction? I'm like, hey Raj, what's up with you, man? Or you
Um,
just being fancy?
so I used to get into the office really early, so it was pretty much empty back then.
Okay.
To get into London and get on the trains and stuff, it can be quite overwhelming. So you want to avoid some of the hustle and bustle. So I used to get up early, get to the office early, and do my coffee
Right.
preparation whilst the office was pretty much dormant.
Right. Okay. So I'm just trying to get this clear, and everybody to know that you started your journey with French press, and then you got onto AeroPress, and now you've been hooked onto the whole facade of pour overs. Like the barrage of equipments that we keep talking about in the community and the groups and everything.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to coffee brewing method as of now, currently? Because I see a lot of, you're doing a lot of espresso lately. Especially flat whites. Though I'm having flat white right now myself, but yeah. And I love your, the simplicity of the pour that you do with the tulip. The tulip three pour, or
Yeah.
three pour or four pours you do.
Yeah, I mix
So
it.
yeah, so what's your favorite brewing
Whatever I
method right
can
now?
get into. My my favorite way of making coffee has to be filter coffee, but my sort of my sort of take on that is I want to have like a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just chill out and make coffee.
Right.
Um, so I want to be like just in the zone of making coffee. So grinding it, everything, just sort of like getting my brew log out, looking at my recipes, looking at what I want, seeing if I want to tweak anything. So that's probably my favorite way of making coffee.
Right.
If I'm in a little bit of a rush, I think just getting the espresso machine on, leaving it there to warm up, and having an espresso or a flat white is a little bit quicker for me.
Right.
But in terms of like espresso based drinks, flat whites and cortados are my number one.
Oh, I'm with you on this, cortado. I literally didn't have the time to make cortado. I was like, whatever I can just make because I wanted to go on live, 1 o'clock.
Mm.
So yeah. What's been your your funny anecdote that you would like to share with your coffee? I mean, in your coffee journey that you've come across.
Oh, not quite sure. Do you mean like any of the sort of funny moments I've had
Yeah,
where
funny
I've been?
moments. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you must have attended a lot of coffee events or like pour over events. I mean, that happens keep happening lots in England. I mean, I'm very well versed because I have a couple of my friends living in England. One is in Birmingham, and the other one is in Yorkshire. I think Yorkshire. I don't know if I'm correct. Yeah.
I usually attend the annual London Coffee Festival, so I get to meet people face to face. I think what's
Right.
funny is I don't usually put my face on my account. Um, so when I do meet people in the coffee community, it's um, it's quite funny. Like Alex, the kitchen guy, when I met him, it's quite funny because he was like, "Oh, so
Right.
there's the face to the name," and like it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's for me as well. I've known you for so long, and this is probably the first time I'm actually seeing you. It's probably the first time, honestly. Even, I
yeah,
mean, we have Luke also on the chat. I'm sure you know Luke the barista, the one with
Luke the
Caffeinero.
legend, Luke the
Luke the
legend.
legend, yes, Luke the legend. So yeah. But I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't.
is there any reason why you don't have a photograph as a face to your account, or is just that you just don't want that? I mean,
Maybe I'm a
to
little
each
bit
to
shy.
its own, but yeah.
Maybe I'm a little bit shy. I don't. I don't actually know. I think I just showcase coffee.
Right.
Um, but perhaps this year I'll start doing lives and regular sort of like brew alongs and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
You know, that would be great.
yeah, it'd be nice to sort of like share the experience
Right.
of like get all the
True.
prep work,
Yeah.
start brewing,
Yeah.
taste it and like explore what you're tasting and stuff like that as well.
Right. How's the coffee community scenes in UK, Raj?
Um, it's quite a large community. Um, I'd say everyone's quite open and friendly. Like the majority of people I've come across, um,
Right.
people are just willing to have a conversation, have a little joke, and um, yeah, there's a lot of like oh, have you tried these roasters? So a little bit of knowledge sharing, and when you do meet people face to face, it's just
Right.
smiles all around. It's like such a positive energy.
Correct. The coffee community here in India is also growing exponentially. I mean, earlier, when I started my coffee journey back in 2002, I was in Philippines.
Mm,
We never had like a coffee community kind of thing, back in Philippines as well.
right.
And but then again, with a lot of information out there, people are understanding what coffee is. People are like literally, taking a deep dive into the coffee world. There's so many association being built up. There's so many programs that's been happening. So I mean, it's pretty good to see that everything is evolving. I mean, at least on my side of the world. I mean, of course, in UK there'll be a huge community that m- I'm sure there'll be a lot of coffee snobs in particular.
Um, yeah, I've come across a few. Um, yeah, there's it's quite a wide sort of diverse environment in terms of like how people want to portray themselves. But it's nice to see that the coffee community in India is growing, and I've seen it a lot through your account and your stories. There's a few others
Right,
who I've started to follow. Um, after following you, I got introduced to a couple more accounts,
right,
so it's really nice to see like the community and festivals that you attend.
right,
Um, so I haven't been to India for about 20 years, which is quite a long time.
right.
Um, so when I do visit India, I would actually really want to sort of dive into what the coffee community and culture is
Yeah,
like in
for
India.
sure. Yeah, that would be great to have you. I mean, it'll be my pleasure to host you, buddy. I mean, so which part of India you belong to, as in your forefathers or your uh, parental sides?
Yeah, my roots are in Punjab.
Punjab.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever you come to India, you'll be going to, but you have to visit Bombay because I stay in Bombay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got to visit there. It's like one of the main
You
hubs, isn't
know?
it?
I see there are a lot of coffee roasters which has been coming up in UK. I mean, what is your or which is your favorite roaster go to? I mean, I know I'm asking you the question and I'm also giving you the answer because there's a lot of stories that I see and you use a Hermano coffee beans, if I'm correct, Hermano. Is that
Yeah, I've used
one of
Hermano.
I reckon that's one of your favorite because most of your stories will have that particular coffee beans displayed. But besides that, I mean, there are a lot of others, you know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of enthusiasts live watching us. They would also want to know because we keep ordering a lot of coffees, international coffees. So
Yeah.
shoot, whatever, I mean, what is your go-to coffee beans or roasters?
Um, I sort of switch it up every month. So, Hermanos is
Right.
lovely. They're Colombian roasters, and they have coffee that's prepared and processed in different ways, grown in different regions, different altitudes. So you get like
Right.
really, you don't get the same sort of taste and flavor profiles in every bean. They're quite different. Some are quite fruity, some are like red fruits, yellow fruits, some are chocolatey. So it's a real diverse
Right.
taste palette with them. Abe Coffee, he does some really good beans as well. Um, I've still got it in my head from 2 years ago when I had a Brazilian um, origin from him, and it tasted like a Snickers bar. So there's
Oh,
a lot of chocolatey peanut butter taste. Um, so his beans stand out, especially like some of his light roast beans that I use for filter. They're 10 out of 10. Um, I've had what have I got at the moment? Let me share.
yeah. Sure, if you have any.
Yeah, so I've got Crown and Kansas coffee. This is a Honduras origin. Um, a lot of like sweet strawberry notes on this one. Really, really nice. So I tried this as a filter first and loved it a bit. And then I was like, let me try it as an espresso. And I got the same sort of like strawberry sweet, clean acidity sort of notes from that.
Right.
This one is Deer Green. It's a Rwandan. There was a lot of like juicy tea notes in this, so it's sweet, but there were chamomile and Earl Grey tea kind of taste notes on that. Both
So
as an
these are
espresso.
basically omni roast, eh?
Sorry, single origin, yeah.
These are basically omni roast where you can use it for filter and espresso as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah. These are all omni roasts. Uh, here's so I've
Right.
got two more to share. So this one was 96 degrees.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this. I've heard of them.
Yeah, so this is a Guatemalan milk, chocolate, and berries. Very nice. And
Nice.
I got
Pretty interesting, yes.
this is one I'm putting some really nice. You know those golden espresso shots. So I've been pulling a few of them with that. So this is a Camberland Sime Peruvian, red grape, plum, and caramel. And you do get those. You do get those taste notes. There's a little bit of
Right.
acidity, but these are all for part of my monthly subscription package. So Dog and Hat, want to give them a shout out as well. They are they put together a subscription box every month,
Nice.
and it's a way of trying out new roasters, and they're all single origin, predominantly single origin. So I get four coffees in my monthly box from the Dog and Hat subscription, which is like amazing.
Wow. I've been looking at this coffee roaster called Nord. I love their collection, what they have, but the shipping is just killing me.
What's
The
the
shipping
shipping
is
like?
more expensive than 2 bags of coffee, man.
Oh, no way. No
Yeah,
way. Yeah,
that's
that's
the reason I'm like literally reluctant to, go ahead with that because what happens in India is, when you order any coffees international,
mm,
and if it's through your, like a local mail, they will probably keep it for some time, or even if they want to inspect it, most of the time, I would not say every time, but randomly, if somebody is on that per se duty, on that particular day, they might
yeah,
just open it and properly they'll not seal it properly. And
right.
in that way, what happens is, the whole coffee is gone to waste and my whole money is gone to waste. So there's no point. So these are the few things that I'm really reluctant to get coffees. That's why
Yeah,
whenever I have my friends traveling from anywhere, I mean, in and around Europe or US, I request them to get it for me. Sometimes they get it without even me asking them. So yeah,
well, that's nice. That's nice, yeah. I think I get to try more international roasters. So Dog and Hat also do an um, international sort of feature box where they get like coffee from who did they get some from last time? Fried Hats. Have you heard of Fried Hats?
Private Heart, yes.
Yeah, the Dutch company.
The
So
one
from
you get
Netherlands, I got
in that supplement box or the can shaped bottle, right?
yeah, it
The
looks like little
vitamin bottle, the vitamin bottle. It's like a recycle thing.
yeah, yeah. It's literally that. Yeah. So yeah. So that's another good thing is like rather than me ordering just myself and paying like a
Right.
ton on shipping, I can just order some from like Dog and Hat who like organised an international feature roast. So
Right.
maybe there's a gap in the market for something like that in India.
Man, I mean, see, there's a lot of vacuum which can be filled up easily in India, but then again, it's the hassle of customs, it's the hassle of duty.
Yeah,
That's one area that not everybody wants to, put their hands into because it's not a small amount we're talking about. For instance, if I have to share an experience, when Oria had launched, the day they had launched, it's the same day or the following day. Yes, the following day, I ordered it online
yeah,
on Oria website, and that very time you have the Royal Mail, right, in UK.
yeah. That's
So
right.
they
Yeah,
were on strike. They were on strike that time. So I was trying to save up money so that I can get get it shipped from UK easily in 1 or 2 weeks time, give and take.
yeah.
The Royal Mail was on what do you call strike. After 1 month, I got this delivered, and when I got it delivered from a local mail, they charged me about 70 US approximate 70 US for me to pay as customs.
Wow.
So I wrote a letter. Yeah, I wrote a letter to the superintendent of the post office that saying I
Mm.
would request you to please reevaluate this thing because this is the item and this is the pricing of the item. After 2 weeks, they send me instead of 70 US, they charge me 120 US,
They,
and I was like, you know what, forget it.
yeah,
So
that's poor
this is just
experience
one of
altogether.
this
Like
is
the
just
length of
one of
time and
case
the
I'm
money.
giving you. This is just one of example that I've shared with you.
Yeah. Has it happened to you before with other items?
Uh, this has happened with Oria and one time when Proper by Design from US, Proper by Design, they had sent me goods worth 145 or 160 US dollars. I can't place the figures correct.
Yeah.
So when these guys came, they asked me about 10,000 rupees. So the 10,000 rupees is about, I don't know how much is in US dollars. And that was quite a lot for a shipment which I've not even purchased. It's like a gift.
Yeah.
So I told them, you take it back because I would not be paying 10,000 bucks for a shipment where the cost is less than that.
Yeah, that's a poor
So I
experience.
think they send the shipment back to the guys in the US. So yeah, I mean, otherwise I would have been the first person to brand their collaborate with that brand in India. But
Um,
unfortunately, yeah. So these
maybe
are
to
the small hassles
revisit that.
that I would not say small, but Yeah, these are the hassle that we go through here in India.
Yeah, there's I mean, even when we've sent stuff to India, like family members, things go missing, or there's a lot of like charges that come out of nowhere. So I've experienced it on that front.
Right. Oh man. So Raj, I mean, is there any specific coffee-related book that you rely on, or you go for your own resources, information, to better yourself in terms of brewing coffee and stuff?
Uh, I don't normally read coffee books, but I do watch some like YouTube videos, and there's a lot of like content on Instagram. Um, but yeah, on like YouTube, follow people like Lance Hendrick, James
James
Hoffman.
Hoffman.
Yeah,
Right.
the, there's a few others, but there's a lot of learning space on Instagram as well.
Right.
And then I think like you sort of just trial and error. You get to a stage where you're quite comfortable with understanding like if the coffee's over extracted, what you need to do, if it's under extracted, or if you're getting very harsh sort of like acidity notes and
Right.
what you need to tweak. Even like it's the same sort of like process. It's about so maybe I'm relating it to like my work, but I kind of like debug it. So
Right.
change one parameter at a time. It could be grind size. Normally it's the grind size. Otherwise, water temperature. When you want to tweak it a little bit, and I think like it's important to have like a good sort of like brew log. So I've got
Oh yes.
like just loads in here where I've gone through and just tweaked things for.
Nice.
So I do that for every bag of coffee I get, and you can. So there'll be different roasters, but they might use the same origin coffee from the same farm at some point, and there's just sort of similarities you can pick up. Like if I brewed a Ethiopian coffee and I use this size on the niche, then I know that next time I'll try that to dial in, or I can figure out the similarities in
Right.
the grind size with the like Commandante and the 1Z Presso hand grinders.
Right.
So you can like debug it from there, and like also like yeah, I think most of it's trial and error, and you get to a stage where those trial and error sort of broad aspects sort of narrow down, so you become like quite comfortable to dial in coffee and take it from there.
Right. So you do cupping as well, whenever you
I
time permits
don't-
you.
no, I don't do cupping, but it's a space that I want to get involved in. I want to start doing cupping because it seems like quite cool and quite a fun process.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've tried cupping a couple of times,
Mm.
though it's a bit messy process, I would say. But then
Yeah,
again, you would understand the coffee way better than, you do your manual brews or espresso. Or, I mean, you will understand that you'll have a very good approach to the coffee, as in you will understand the coffee in such a way that you would not spend or you would not spend too much of your time trying to dial in the beans.
yeah,
You would exactly know what temperature, what grind size would go with the brew, or whichever brew you want to brew, as in the brewer, the equipment I'm talking about.
yeah.
So yeah, cupping really helps. This is just one of points that I have shared with you. But yeah, cupping is fun. Cupping is dirty. Cupping is messy. But it's very,
It's a nice
I
experience
would say,
to
it's a nice
explore.
experience.
Like, yeah,
Plus, it's an art. You know what I mean? To do
yeah,
cupping also is an art. The way you hold your spoon, the way you run your spoon over the surface of the coffee, how you remove the crust. The the crust which is formed after you pour the hot water and leave it for. So these are all art. How you do it as well. So I mean,
yeah.
that's one of the things that I want to do it on a regular basis. Because that really helps you with your sensory. That helps you with your sensory as well
Yeah.
if you're doing a sensory skill to calibrate your palate.
So I think with cupping, it's nice to explore the the flavors you get to experience with the different sort of like as the coffee cools over the period of time, you sort of like get more
Yeah.
more flavors and you get a different set of flavors each time you sort of like go in for the magic slurp. But it's something I want to get involved in. I've tried. I've probably cupped maybe once or twice in my life. It was fun, but like you said, it's a messy sort of time consuming experience, and also you got to be a bit mindful. If you get like a 250-gram bag of beans, you wanna
Right.
you kind of want to dial it in quite quickly, so you don't have to go through the waste of dialing it in before you get
Right.
the sort of parameters right as well. So I normally dial it. Luckily, um, I can dial in probably in my second or third attempt and just tweak it from there if I need to. But yeah,
Right.
I do want to get involved in cupping.
Sometimes, when, like for instance, if I have some coffee beans, which is, I basically don't freeze my coffee. I finish my coffee ASAP. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a packet of beans, I will make sure that this is finished by a week or 2 weeks time, give and take, because I like the freshness of the coffee. But if circumstances is such that I've left out some beans in the canister and it's already 2 or 3 months old, even though if it's in a vacuum sealed canister, then I will do a cupping out of it to understand if there's any life left in that coffee. You know,
Okay.
so if there's any life left in the coffee, even like 10% also, if I'm able to, get whatever I want, then I would probably, use it as a filter.
Yeah.
And if there's no life left, then probably I'll just season my burrs with the
That's
remaining beans.
yeah. So that's something I probably have in common with you is um when a coffee gets to the later stages after opening the bag and it starts degrading and you
Right.
start losing some freshness, I'll probably more likely to shift it into more of the filter sort of ranges, um, and try and go from there. Because like with espressos, you
Ah,
need
you cannot.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah, you
got to
cannot
lock in.
unless you have a machine called decent where it will guide you every step of the way with the whole graph telling you, okay, how good this coffee is flowing, if you're gonna get a good extraction, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Decent.
yeah,
But yeah, again with stale coffee also the second best approach is to do a filter with a very high temperature. So whatever little is remaining, you can extract on a very high temperature. On a lower temperature, it will be impossible to extract any life which is left in those stale beans. So
or go a
yeah,
little bit finer. Yeah, or go a little bit finer to get more water contact. But
yes,
yeah, I think the high temperature definitely helps.
yeah, high temperature does. I mean, it actually gives a push, to extract whatever life is left in those beans. Right.
Yeah,
All right, Raj. I have a lot of questions. Do you have any questions that you want to answer, or you want to say anything?
yeah.
Because
What sort
I don't want to make it sound as if this is like a question answer round. I want to make it like a more relaxing. You know what I mean? Like a free flowing conversation. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. What are your favorite kind of like coffees to make? I know you've mentioned cortado, and you can't beat a good cortado. But in terms of like the open sort of book of espresso, flat white latte, cortado, even into filter, what sort of like filter method? What kind of like coffee do you normally go to? Like,
Um,
what's your first coffee in the morning?
my first coffee has. I start my day with an espresso. Come what
Okay, go for
come
the
what may.
no nonsense
Come what
strong
may.
tea.
It has to be. Yeah, yeah. Come what may. It has to be a double shot espresso.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that espresso, then probably, I'll take a break for like 10, 15 minutes, give and take. Literally 10, 15 minutes, give and take. And then I'll shoot myself for an cortado.
Oh, wow.
After a cortado, then probably I'll give a break for hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I will see what beans I have. Then I'll do a pour over. If I have new beans, then I do a lot of reviews for my coffee beans that I like. Yesterday, I did a review on Kokoro coffee bean, Zazin, Zazen,
Uh,
Zazin is the name of the coffee. I think in a very long time, that coffee just hit the spot, man, for me. It was beautiful.
yeah.
I mean, beautiful would be an understatement, to be honest. It was boasting notes of milk chocolate, lavender, and mixed fruit jam. But
Okay.
when I did the, I usually do the wet aroma, dry aroma, the steps that you follow for cupping. So I do that steps when I do my pour overs. So I try to understand the coffee more instead of
Yeah.
going to the cupping. During the dry aroma, just grinding the beans, I could smell peach, like stone fruit, peach, passion fruit, uh, red and green apple were very prominent.
Oh wow.
Milk chocolate was I couldn't get milk chocolate, but then again when I brewed the coffee, oh my God, lavender and honeysuckle were like literally on my face.
Oh my God. That just sounds
Yeah,
like a big
so
experience,
so
doesn't it?
every time I try a new coffee, my go-to has to be Oria because Oria for some reason is forgiving, even though it has a faster flow rate.
Mm.
But then again, it's always forgiving, even if mess up with your brew. Like sometimes you tend to pour more, or you tend to forget to start the timer or whatever. You
Mm.
know what I mean? You can still
Yeah.
come back, unlike on your V60 or your origami. It becomes a task to get back to the brew. Either you have to throw the brew, or you have to just chug it down just because you can't afford to waste coffee. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean my morning with espresso, then cortado, and then I do a filter, and then I'll take a break for some time, and then again I'll get back on flat white, and I will finish my day with a pour over again, probably a V60. So
Okay,
yeah.
so you have about five coffees a day.
Yeah, I mean, on an average, yeah, five. And that's every coffee is about uh, uh, espresso base, as in the milk base, espresso base is all 20 grams because I use a VST basket.
Okay.
And for my pour overs, it really depends. So, bare minimum, whenever I do a filter coffee pour over, I usually use about 16, sometimes 19 grams of coffee.
Yeah. Okay, that's quite
So,
quite
that's,
quite a good
yeah,
number of coffees you're getting in, aren't you?
yeah, yeah.
So
I make sure that I have enough water as well during the day. I mean, throughout the day,
yeah, that's
because yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I normally have about two coffees a day, and at a stretch three. Um, my preference is starting the day with a filter. So just sort of like, you wake up and give yourself the time to sort of like
right.
it's kind of therapeutic for me. So use that as a means of like getting started in the day, starting the day with the right sort of mindset, and just sort of like taking your time and giving yourself that moment. So filter for me, like you said, Urea are just a great method. So that's normally my go-to. And like you said, it's so forgiving to dial in. That when I
Yeah.
do dial in for coffee, I usually use the Urea
Oh yeah.
to sort of gauge. Um,
And for
and
some
then,
reason, Raj, Oria gives you a sweeter cup.
yeah,
No matter what coffee it is, no matter what coffee it is, it will still give you that 1%, like very tiny percent of sweetness in your cup.
yeah, I don't know what magic these guys do, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I mean, look at it. Does it look like it's gonna
yeah.
be the one amazing dripper? It's got to be something to do with the technology they have because it's a fast flow rate. The actual dripper has like some sort of like specific material it's made out of to retain the heat as well. So maybe it's to do with that. So yeah, they're great. I love it. I love the
I
Oreo
use
dripper.
a Kalita wave filters. I don't know which filters you using for it. The one from Oria,
Yeah, yeah, the same. I use the Kalita Wave 185 filters in that.
185. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, normally filter in the morning. I normally opt for about 17 grams of coffee,
Right.
and then later on I will have a flat white in the day. Yeah. So yeah, my flat white recipes are 18 grams dosage.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, earlier I would use the filter which would come with the machine, even though it's IMS Rancilio.
Mhm.
But since I love espresso, and that's the reason I I stretched myself and I got a VST basket because again it has a different um, it gives you a very good profiling on your espresso as well. I mean, it gives you a good creamy espresso as compared to your normal basket.
Yeah,
Of course, it is, you have to dial it further fine, whatever you dial in for your normal basket for VST or the other baskets, precision basket, if we call
yeah.
the way we call it. You have to dial it more finer.
Okay, that's
Yeah, so
interesting.
sometimes it becomes a challenge to, dial in the beans when you're using the VST basket and vice versa with the normal basket.
So is that the VST basket that you have to grind
Yeah.
finer with?
Yeah, so hold on, let me just. So this is it's pretty hot. So this is the VST basket I'm using. There's no rigid to it. It's, I don't know if you call rigids, you call it, right? There's no seam, nothing. It's plain. See?
Oh, right. Up. Well, I use an IMS basket.
Are you using? I have the IMS basket here. You can see the difference for yourself. You see, you see this line here. So this will not be there for your VST basket. This is what you call a rigid, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is not there on a VST basket.
that's quite cool.
Yeah. Oh, we have Ali Coffee in the house. Hey, hey. Hi, Ali. All right. I mean, we are almost on the last leg of the show, Raj. Few more questions before we can wrap up.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of your coffee corner? These are the few things that it will help people to know you better.
In my coffee corner, probably my coffee cupboard. I have a whole cupboard in the kitchen just dedicated to everything, which has my scales, my drippers, my papers, my coffee, all of my tamp tampers and everything in. So it's hidden away, but that's like, you open it up and it's like opening up a door to a magic
Right.
world.
But are you planning to make like a coffee station in the coming days or in the coming months?
So what I do want to do is when I get to a place, like maybe when I move, I want to have a dedicated sort of coffee corner.
Right.
So at the moment, my coffee corner and like my equipment is all in the kitchen. So it's all like on the counter here. So that's my stage dual boiler, and next to it,
Right.
I've got the the niche.
The
Uh,
the Commandante grinder.
yeah, that's one of my favorite grinders. So I've got the niche and um, the female book A68 next to it on the countertop.
You got the A60. Can I have a look at it?
The A68, the female book, yeah.
It's a slim one, right? The metal body.
So
Oh yes. Oh God. I was thinking of getting this prior to getting the Firenzato all grounds. They have one in black and red, if I'm correct.
yes, I saw that. That looks really nice. That does.
Yeah. It looks pretty dope, eh? The color, black and red.
Yeah, it's a really nice build quality to it as well. It's all metal. It's all magnetic. There's no screws, nothing to it. So it's like easy to just like rip open, clean, and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Very
I'm
user
still
friendly, I would
sorry.
say. Very user friendly, I would say,
Yeah,
in terms of cleaning the grinder and the approach to it.
yeah, definitely. I'm still working on seasoning it, but so far I've got like really nice results out of it.
So you basically use that for your espresso and niches for your. Okay, so you keep switching between, or those grinders are predominantly for espresso, the niche and the
Yeah,
A68.
yeah.
Okay,
I don't use them for espressos, but the A68 has it probably has like more settings to it, so you can use it for filter. And I found really good results with filter as well. But when it comes to filter, I just prefer hand grinding.
Right. So that's coming down to MK40. Which one is that?
So I've got the my go-to bro, the Commandante,
Ah, the one Z Presso as well. Okay.
and the one
Right.
so K Ultra. This one, and this is a really nice.
That's the one with the magnet, right? At the bottom, or it's the one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the magnet one. I have noticed a few differences in between them, like when I'm grinding. Um, really good, really good quality. I think the Commandante, the experience of grinding is less resistant, so it's a little bit easier to grind. So you take a
Right.
little bit longer to grind. With the one Presso, the time to grind is quicker, but you feel a little bit more resistance.
Ah, okay. All right. But uh, the Commandante has come up with this new grinder as well, the Barracuda, the one with the metal body. Damn,
Yeah.
that is expensive. I did try that. I did get my hands on it during the World Coffee Festival in Bangalore last year.
Okay, how did you find it?
I loved it. The build quality is awesome. The burr size is phenomenal. I mean, just I remember when I tried it just by the first grind, the first initial grind or two times I did it, you can literally smell the aroma of the coffee. It was so beautiful and wonderful. But then again, when I checked the price, I was like, oh man,
Uh,
it's okay.
it's so expensive, isn't it?
Uh, in
Very.
India, the company is selling for 55 grand, 55,000, 55,500. So that's how much that would be in quids. Hold on. 55. No, that's quite a lot, dude. Hold on.
Even when I saw the British pound price for it, I was just like blown away. I was like, that is very expensive. I mean, the Commandante itself is quite expensive anyway. They're about £250, so it's
Mate,
quite a lot of money to spend on a
that's
hand
that's
grinder.
525 sterlings.
Oh wow, 520. Yeah, you can get a niche for that price.
Yeah,
Yeah,
electric grinder.
yeah. And the niche again, like I don't think the niche gets enough credit, but I think the niche is a really, really good grind. I've had so
Really,
many
really good.
results with
And
it.
just to think of it, that was a crowd funded when they
Yeah,
came up. That was a crowd funded, you know.
yeah.
But then again, the whole niche duo, I don't know. I mean, they're just going overboard with that. You know what I
I
mean?
I agree with you there. I'd rather have the niche zero and a solid hand grinder than have a two-in-one where I've
Yeah,
got
and you
a.
have
I know it's like
to keep changing the burrs as well for
yes,
that, if I'm correct.
two birds, but even like the even though they seem quite easy to swap over, it's still something you have to do.
Hey, man.
There,
Oof.
there,
All right,
there
buddy.
are a lot of there
Sorry.
are a lot of coffee gadgets. There's a lot more coffee gadgets and accessories than there were before. So
Oh, yes. I mean,
it's-
there's this one new scale which has come out from a Kickstarter where I wanted to, back that project, and they were asking me about 1900 Hong Kong dollars. That's close to 20 grand Indian rupees. I was like, no, I'm not sure if I want to do that. And they don't even guarantee you if the project is goes through. Products is not guaranteed as well. So I don't. I would not. I'll be stupid enough to block, 17,
too much of
1800 Hong Kong dollars.
too much of
Sorry.
a very risky.
Yeah. Otherwise, that is a phenomenal scale. It's like a modular scale from both the
Oh,
ends. You can,
is
this
that
guy's been
the
this
Manta?
guy's been doing the rounds on Instagram.
Is it called the Manta scale? I think.
Oh yes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, it looks quite cool. Especially like he has a way of measuring profiling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I thought that was quite
that's that.
impressive.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. I mean, if that happens, that would be phenomenal, off the chart scale.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be good to see it hit the market and see how people feel about it and after using it. I haven't actually heard. anyone using it and giving like any feedback on it. I don't know if it's because no one's had like a prototype to try or anything like that.
Right, right. I mean, for me as well, I also waited quite a long time to, get my Akaya scale for my espresso. The Akaya Lunar.
Okay, yeah,
It's expensive.
yeah,
I had to wait a lot. I had to give a lot of thought process to go with it or not because for the longest time I was using the Time More Black Mirror, and sometimes it gets very inconsistent when it comes to espresso. But with pour over is phenomenal. But with espresso you can't. The few seconds also matter a lot in terms of extraction. And I was
yeah.
like, you know what, I have to get the Akaya scale. And then I won the I, ICAP scale V2 on a
Oh,
giveaway in a giveaway.
yeah. Have you used that one?
Yeah, I use that for my pour overs now. It's good. The build quality is
I've heard
phenomenal. I love it.
good stuff about that one.
Yeah,
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 I think
it's very good.
I think Ali has that as well. He was saying it was really good, so that's some good feedback from that. I
Yeah.
use so I've got the Time More Black Mirror for pour overs, which is just great. I can't fault
Oh
it.
yes.
And then I've got the Nano version for espresso. Um, cafe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cafe.
Ali, this is the scale that I won in a giveaway. The V2.
Ah, okay.
Dude, this is phenomenal, man. I mean, I think this is like the underdog of scale now. Honestly.
There's a lot of scales out there. There's a lot of tampers, a lot of distribution tools, and WDT equipment. It's
Mate,
quite a
the
big.
sky is the
Yeah,
limit. Every
yeah,
every other day or every month, there's something new, out of the box concepts coming out, and we as homebrewers are wondering, okay, should we get this also? Should we get that also? It's like a never-ending chase,
rabbit hole,
honestly.
isn't it? It's a real deep rabbit hole to get into and
Oh
spend your
my
money
word,
on.
yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. All right, buddy. Raj, any final words or advice do you have, for someone who is just starting to, coffee, home brewing, or exploring the world of coffee? Do you have any
Um,
word of wisdom, advice, anything? So we can, call it a day.
yeah, I think be forgiving to yourself and take the whole thing as a learning experience and just enjoy the whole process. Um,
Right.
and also, it's important, don't change too many parameters at the same time, one at a time, and see how you get on.
True. Fair enough. All right, buddy. It was pleasure to finally see you face to face, and thank you for taking the time out on a very short notice, but I know it's pretty early for you as well. I think it's what, 10 o'clock right now? 10 in the
No,
morning? I'm
probably
sure
around, I
I've
think it's
kept you
8 o'clock.
starving now for your breakfast. So
It's
I'll let you go now. I'll let you go and have your breakfast. But yeah, thank you so much, Raj. It was pleasure to talk to you and to see you and to meet you face to face, even though it's virtual. But yeah, one day soon, if ever you travel to India or I travel to UK, we definitely have to catch up.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely have to catch up.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Nitin. It's been a real pleasure having a conversation with you. And yeah, thanks for just inviting me. Really appreciate it. And we'll do this again at some point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, hope to come on your live one of the days whenever you do it. All right.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you got that.
All right, Raj. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good Sunday. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Take care then, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.